Welcome. This is the Contreras Report. I am Raul Lowry Contreras. In this segment, we are discussing money, the Mexican president, and his attempts to monopolize basic industry and society by the Mexican government. His Mexican government, Lopez Obrador's government, that is a huge failure. August remittances set a new record at United States dollars $4.74 billion. Remittances from Mexicans working abroad, but mostly in the United States of America. Those remittances continued their steady upward trend in August, even during the pandemic, and set a new monthly record according to the Bank of Mexico. Total for the month was US $4.74 billion, up 32.7% over August 2020. It lifted the total for the year to $32.9 billion since the 1st of January. That's an increase of 24.8% over the same period last year. Remittances sent during the 12 months ending August 31 came to $47.1 billion, up from $45.9 billion in the previous 12-month period. The August figure, up 4.5% over July's total, was well above the $4.4 billion median estimate by economists in a Bloomberg survey. So how does that record month sit with Mexicans? We don't know because the president, Andres Manuel Lopez Obardor, doesn't mention these billions of dollars because reality will rise up and bite him hard you know where. Mexican leaders are reluctant to discuss this giant remittance flow from the U.S. to Mexico. Simply put, Mexico is lucky that thousands of Mexicans are working in the United States legally and illegally, sacrificing individually to send $20, $50, $100 a week to their families in Mexico. I've seen, for example, several men, as many as 7, 8, 10, share a large apartment with those that work during the day while the night working men sleep. They reverse in the evening. They take a rent of, say, $1,200 a month or more and split it up so that each spends less than $150 for his share of the rent. With the rest, they buy food in bulk and do laundry, etc. Even if they only earn minimum wage in San Diego, that's $15 an hour, and anything above the federal minimum wage of $7.75 outside the city, they obviously have money to send if they live their days like I described. Mexican leaders love the billions of dollars that roll south from the U.S., but don't raise the subject publicly because these billions make a huge difference for 126 million Mexicans. Certainly, it helps keep poverty from running away in Mexico. When President Lopez Obrador was elected, poverty had declined for 18 straight years, with the first drops coming in the 12 years that Presidents Vicente Fox and Felipe Calderón of the opposition party named PAN, had brought Mexico out of the 70 long years of abyss of the corrupt Stalinist PRI, Partido Revolucionario Institucional. What Vicente Fox used to say was, el PRI es el corrupción es el PRI. The PRI is corruption, and corruption is the PRI. For the record, when I was born in Mexico City in 1941, poverty was probably 80 to 85% of the entire Mexican nation. The Fox-Calderón presidencies between 2000 and 2012 lowered poverty to record lows, sliding from 45% when they entered office, that plunged to 22.7% when they left. Since President Lopez Obrador became president, promising to be the president of the poor and vulnerable, poverty has risen to 44% at the end of 2020. It will be higher by the end of this year. That's all despite the $4.4 billion that's coming in from the United States a month. President Lopez Obrador has failed as president in his war on poverty. One element that has grown in recent months and years, is the remittance that individual Mexicans send from the U.S. Every dollar which sent embarrasses President Lopez Obrador, and it should. The president can't lower poverty and is working full-time to detour Mexico's path to be the 5th or 6th largest economy in the world in the next 10 or 15 years. His mission to obliterate private investment in Mexico has now reached the point that he is having his party hack congresspeople introduce constitutional amendments that will place the federal government in the office of Comisión Federal de Electricidad, the Federal Electrical Commission, the CFE, the principal producer and distributor of electricity in the 10th or 11th largest economy in the world today. He wants the government to take it over. The CFE uses oil and coal to produce electricity, and the cost to the public is about $120 per megawatt hour to produce. Privately produced electricity costs $25 a megawatt hour to the federal government. Lopez Obrador believes that the government and the government only should produce a basic utility like electricity, and that government should depend on another government agency, the essentially bankrupt Pemex, Petróleos Mexicanos, to produce the oil and coal the CFE needs for its Lopez Obrador monopoly. Lopez Obrador can only achieve that government monopoly he desires with 2/3 support in both houses of Congress, the Chamber of Deputies and the Senate. That's why the June 6th national election was such a disaster for Lopez Obrador and his Morena party, M-O-R-E-N-A. They lost the 2/3 margin they had before the election, with the largest opposition gains by the PAN party, the PAN party. Without the 2/3 margin Lopez Obrador needs to pass constitutional amendments, he needs to take control of the electrical energy by any method he can. He needs the party support of the old corrupt PRI political party. That is the only way he can win this argument in Congress, this situation in Congress. What will happen? We don't know. We do know that the Mexican courts have stood in Lopez Obrador's way since he became president, and we know that he is midway through his 6-year term with little accomplishment. Defenders of freedom in Mexico must carry on the fight the Mexican people voted for on June 6th by cutting his margins down. Lopez Obrador must be stopped from taking over such a critical industry as electricity. He must be stopped from causing foreign investment to dry up. Mexico needs foreign investment. Only investment and growth can lower poverty in Mexico. Also needing an attaboy is the Mexican working force in the United States that is sending record amounts of dollars south to Mexico. Lopez Obrador should tell his national audience in one of his daily press conferences that those Mexicans who send the money home are national heroes. They feed us in the United States. They take care of our children. They build our houses, our roads, and skyscrapers. They are heroes here. And also, the heroes are those who feed us, especially those that feed us. This is Raul Lowry Contreras. Subscribe to this channel and you will be updated whenever there is a new episode of the Contreras Report. You can also send me an email with your questions and I promise to respond. The email address will appear on the screen in a few seconds. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time.